Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling when you really need someone to do something and you're already dreading asking? We've all been there, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's that awkward dance between needing the help and then not wanting to step on anyone's toes.
Exactly. What if there was a way to make asking for help feel less like a chore and more like an opportunity for everyone involved?
Oh, that would be nice.
Well, today we're diving into the art of persuasion with the master himself, Dale Carnegie, to learn just that.
Ah, Dale Carnegie. His insights into human nature, they're timeless.
Right. We're going to be unpacking his article, How to Get People to Do What You Want. And don't worry, it's not about manipulation or anything like
No,
that.
no, no, no.
It's about genuinely understanding what makes people tick.
Exactly. And Carnegie was all about sincerity. He really believed that people can spot a phony a mile away, so the key is to be really genuine in your interactions.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make sure our requests are coming from a place of authenticity?
Well, Carnegie breaks it down into four very clear steps.
Hmm.
And it all starts with being mindful. So before you even go to approach someone with a request, take a moment to actually consider why they are uniquely qualified for this specific task.
So it's not just about like who's closest or who seems to have the lightest workload at the moment.
Precisely. It's about recognizing their particular strengths and how those strengths really align with what needs to be done, Like have they demonstrated these skills before? Have they excelled in, similar areas?
So it sounds like preparation is key here. Like you really need to have a good grasp of the person's skill set before you even make the request.
Absolutely. And that leads us to the second step, the approach. When you do reach out, don't just kind of jump right into asking for the help. Instead, acknowledge their unique skill set and express how much you value their expertise.
It's about setting the stage, right? You're acknowledging their value up front so they don't feel like just another cog in the wheel.
Exactly. You're emphasizing their importance before even, mentioning the task at hand. And this is where step 3 comes in. Backing up your praise with specific examples.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying, hey, you're great at data analysis, you could say something like, remember that time you presented that intricate sales report? The way you broke down that complex information was incredible.
Perfect example. That kind of specific feedback shows that you've been paying attention, that you genuinely appreciate their contributions. It's not just empty flattery, you
Uh,
know?
uh,
It's sincere appreciation.
it's about making them feel seen for their talents and not just for their availability. So
Mhm.
much of the time, I feel like we get so caught up in what we need that we forget to acknowledge the actual individual we're talking to.
It's so true, and it's a shame because that acknowledgement, it's so crucial. It really sets the tone for a much more positive and a much more productive interaction overall. And that brings us beautifully to the final step, the ask.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork, we've been mindful, we've acknowledged their expertise, and we've given specific examples of their, brilliance. Now, how do we actually make the request?
So this is where you connect all the dots. You link their acknowledged skills directly to the task at hand. Instead of just a blunt, hey, can you handle this? It's more about saying, because you excel at this specific thing, I immediately thought of you for this new project.
So you're essentially saying, I see your strengths, and I believe you would be amazing at this because of them.
Exactly. So, imagine you need a teammate to take on a complex data analysis project.
Okay.
You could say, the way you presented that sales report really impressed me. You have a knack for making really complex information easy to understand, and that's why I immediately thought of you for this new project.
Wow, yeah. That completely changes the dynamic, right?
Absolutely.
You're presenting it as an opportunity for them to shine, to leverage their strengths in a way that feels, really meaningful.
It reminds me, actually, of those times where I've felt truly valued at work. And it wasn't just that I was given responsibility, it was that my contributions were directly tied to my abilities and to my unique skill set.
Exactly. And that's what's so powerful about Carnegie's approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about getting someone to just do something. It's about really appealing to their desire to contribute, to contribute their best. And when you can show someone that you see their value, you really empower them to rise to the occasion.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how many opportunities have been totally missed just because we skip those crucial steps, right? We rush
Yeah.
to the ask without really recognizing the individual, and in turn, we might miss out on, their full potential.
It's a really powerful thought, isn't it? And it really speaks to, I think, the enduring relevance of Carnegie's work. Even decades later, his insights into human nature and into, motivation, they continue to resonate with us today. It really makes you think about like all those everyday interactions,
Hmm.
not just at work, but in our personal lives too. Imagine if we approached every request, like no matter how big or small, with the same level of intention and respect.
It's true. It's a simple shift in mindset, but I think it can have a ripple effect on your relationships and, your overall effectiveness as a person, as a colleague.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive here into Dale Carnegie's, his wisdom, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
Mhm.
What's the one thing they should remember when they need someone to do something?
I think it really boils down to this. Everyone wants to feel valued,
Yeah.
and appreciated. By tapping into that really fundamental human need, you're not just asking for help. You're creating an environment where people feel good about contributing their best.
Yeah, it's about moving away from that transactional approach to, like a more human-centered one, where everyone feels seen, respected for who they are and what they bring to the table. I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of like a really thoughtless request. We've all felt that sting of being overlooked, right?
Yeah.
But by embracing these principles that Carnegie lays out, we can change that dynamic, right?
Yeah.
We can create a world where asking for help is no longer this thing that we dread.
Yeah.
It's not about like burdening someone. It's an opportunity to empower others and to really achieve like amazing things, but together.
Beautifully said. That's a goal worth striving for sure.
Absolutely. So the next time that you need someone to do something, just remember Dale Carnegie's advice. Be mindful, acknowledge their expertise, back it up with specifics, and then connect those strengths to the task at hand. It might just change the way you ask for and receive help forever. That's it for today's deep dive. Until next time, happy persuading.